Well, hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Unstoppable Lionesses. We are so excited. This is our inaugural show, and we cannot wait to be a part of all of you phenomenal women's lives. We have got some incredible unstoppable lionesses that I'm going to bring up very shortly that will be sharing different segments with you on a weekly basis. Our goal, our focus is to make sure that you, as women, gain your voice back, that you understand your role in leadership, your role as a leader in the boardroom, your role as a leader, be it in ministry, your role as a leader in your home, in your relationships. We want to make sure that you feel unstoppable, that you understand and recognize that the glory of God that rests upon your life is the same glory that makes you unstoppable because you serve an limitless God. And because of that, and because you are his daughters, he has unlimited opportunities and blessings for you. We had an incredible event probably 2 months ago now. And during that event, we were on the top of a mountain, and it was an incredible time for everyone that was there. But God spoke some amazing things to us while we were there. And one of them is the fact that this is the season for his daughters. This is the season that he's unveiling us. This is the season that he is empowering us. And so we're really, really grateful to be walking through this season. We understand that we cannot take it lightly, that we must represent our fathers well. And so I am very, very excited that the ladies that have locked arms with me and that will be pouring in your life has the same vision that I have, and that is to make sure that you are unstoppable. I have a nonprofit and it's called Lioness Warrior Kingdom, hence where the Unstoppable Lionesses came from. But the reason I believe that God dropped in my spirit the lioness, that um, connotation for his daughters, is because lionesses are so fierce and they're so courageous, and there is nothing that holds them back. But the second thing to that is lionesses band together. There is a sisterhood among lionesses that is unbreakable. They protect one another. They cover each other's cubs. They hunt together. They dwell together. And they are intertwined with each other. And that's what we want for the lionesses that come on board with Lioness Warrior Kingdom. So I wanted to put that out there so that you will understand where that lioness came from. As you can see, my background, I absolutely love lionesses, and I love playing with artwork in AI as well. Toward the end of the show, I will be sharing some things about the AI journey that I have taken and the technological sphere that we're in. But let me just say this to begin with: technology is not something to be afraid of. It is something to embrace. So I'm gonna leave that there. I also want to share this, that I know that, ladies, you are coming and you are watching us from all spheres of life, from some backgrounds like ours, that you may be women of faith, and others you may not be. I want you to feel welcome and be a part of this either way. Seriously, I don't want you to be intimidated, because all of the lionesses that will share with you are women of faith. But the key is that God loves his daughters. He loves his creation. And so I don't want you to be taken back about that, because what we're going to be dropping, the nuggets we'll be dropping in your life, will strengthen you wherever you are. And you never know what change can come about in your life by taking on kingdom principles. And that's what we're going to be sharing. We want to make sure that you are rising up to the stature of a queen that you were created to be. So I wanted to put that out there as well. So now that I have laid the groundwork, we have decided on this introductory broadcast that you needed to meet all of our lionesses that will be sharing with you over the course of the season. Now, everybody won't be on every broadcast every week, but I promise you, every one of them have very, very valuable nuggets that they will share with you on their particular segments and subjects. Okay. So I want you to meet them all. I want you to know who you're going to be imparted from or by. At the same time, I love these ladies and I just feel real, real comfortable keeping them close by my side. Okay. So without further ado, I am going to start bringing them to the stage, and I am starting with Miss Patsy Alston. Patsy is an incredible, incredible woman in her sphere of leadership. So it's awesome to have Patsy on here. And her segment is Keys to People First Leadership. So she will be sharing that with you. My next lioness is Dr. Beth Goodman. We call her Dr. Sprinkles, and you'll understand why the more you get to know her, because she loves to sprinkle your life with joy. The next one is Dr. Stephania. I always do that. Dr. Stephania Shine. Listen, I told the ladies I can't wait to her segment because she is sharing from the place of the sophisticated hustler. Okay. So that is going to definitely be intriguing without a doubt. And then we have Miss Crystal Travis. Crystal is a label breaker. And so she is going to be coming at you with the segment of Labels Can't Contain You. All right. Labels can't contain you. Now, Miss Taffany Williams. Miss Taffany Williams deals with a lot of ships. Okay. And not just the ships that float out there in the ocean. She deals with a lot of different relationships. And so her segment is shifters. All right. So she is going to be talking to you and dealing with all the different ships that you will find yourself involved in. So, ladies, 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 thank you for joining me and being a part of today's broadcast. And I am just so excited with what all of you bring to the table. So, first up, we're going to have Miss Patsy Austin talk to you about keys to people first leadership.
Wow. So, first of all, thank you so much, Dr. James. I am so excited to be a part of this Kingdom panel full of amazing women. I am also honored to introduce my segment, Keys to People First Leadership. In my segment, we will be focusing on leadership strategies that put people at the center and follow three essential principles: see, hear, and believe. And sorry about that. I had a freeze.
It happens to the best of us.
So first, as leaders, we need to see people not just for their roles and what they can do, but also as individuals. That means recognizing their value, their uniqueness, their strengths, and because everyone is a treasure. That's what we believe as kingdom women. That's what we believe our king thinks about us, and how we can impart that same belief to other people. We also need to hear people, and that goes just beyond listening. It's about creating spaces where people feel like their voices really matter, because when people know they are truly heard, it fosters trust, it strengthens relationship, it encourages creativity and collaboration. And then we need to believe in people. Actually, we need to believe in people all the time, but that's the key that we're going to be talking about, because belief is powerful. It's seeing potential where others see limitations. It's helping people rise to their fullest potential, because nobody sets out to fail. There is not one single person on the face of the planet that wakes up in the morning and says, you know what, I think I'm going to be a failure today. And as leaders, it's our job to cultivate environments where people feel supported and empowered to do their best. And over the years, I have seen, as a part of executive teams, as an associate pastor, and I actually helped rebuild the volunteer program for the American Red Cross after Hurricane Katrina completely decimated it. I've seen how these keys, um, seeing, hearing, and believing transform not only individuals, but entire organizations. And these are the foundations of what I call people first leadership. And we'll be talking a whole lot more about this in coming shows.
Awesome, awesome. Well, that is amazing because people need to be valued. And that's what I heard in all that you were saying, that you will help us to value those around us. So that's an amazing thing. Well, Dr. Sprinkles, what's up with you,
Hello.
ma'am?
Good afternoon. God afternoon. Wonderful women of faith. I am Dr. Beth Goodman, also known as Dr. Sprinkles, and I'm excited to be a part of this amazing tribe, this amazing group of women that are God goal getters, and glad to be here and glad that you're here as well. Everyday living with Dr. Sprinkles. It is what it says it is. Everyday living. Every day that God gives us, we get the opportunity to live and not just exist. So we get to talk about what it is that our beliefs are. Where have we subscribed to narratives that are not calling and causing us to live? Are you just existing? Are you just meandering day in and day out with the same old, same in, same out? Well, everyday living is where we concretize new beliefs to live in the best version of the better you and the better version of the best you. We get to step into the kingdom confidence of who it is and what it is that God has called us to be. You're selling yourself short. You keep not believing what God says, and therefore, that's why you're having all of the stress, all of the heartache, all of the hardship, because you have forgotten to remember what God says about you. And as a result, that is my job to sprinkle information, to sprinkle support, to sprinkle love with our different segments, talking about knowing who you are, talking about adjusting, establishing goals, going for it all, because the Bible says that we can do all things.
Yeah.
When did you stop believing that you could do all things? We get to go back to that place and pull up those seeds that we no longer need and cultivate the kingdom confidence that God has called us to be. So join us on same place, same time, every day living with sprinkles. Because what? Everything is better with sprinkles on top.
And that it is, and that it is. Well, okay, Miss Sophisticated Hustler, Dr. Stephania Shine. Just her name alone, it's like you just want to go, okay, so she just gets to shine all the time.
Yeah.
So go ahead, ma'am.
I often say that it's not just what I do, it's who I am, you know? I get to say that. But thank you so much for inviting me to be a part of this amazing team of women. It was such an honor and a privilege to spend time with all of the women that are on this panel now. And I'm just excited of what God is going to do through us collectively as we go forward with just all of the opportunities that God is going to put before us moving forward. But yes, the sophisticated hustler. So, y'all, I mean, I think the time is so right. Here we are, all women on this panel, but we're looking at a woman running for president of the United States, right? And then I started thinking, I'm like, man, in the 1960s, it was the introduction of the women's lib and all of the things giving women equal rights and all of that, and still the debate over equal pay for women and all of this stuff. But then I started thinking, because the Bible tells us there's nothing new under the sun. And I went to the Proverbs 31 woman and
Mm.
I began to go through her resume. And I began to understand that I don't even know how. Here's a woman. Now, theologians debate that if she was a real woman or an ideal of a woman. So we don't even have to get into that. The fact that this woman shows up in a Bible that was written over 2,000 years ago lets us know something that we lost it somewhere along the way, because here in the 1960s we had to fight for just a right to be, a right to vote. But here's a woman that when you go through Proverbs 31, she had it going on. She
Mm.
was resourceful. She was a real estate investor. She was philanthropic. She was mentally and physically strong. She had a prayer life. I mean, she had it going on. Nobody told her in that passage anywhere where she had to pick or decide between being a mother or a wife, or she did it all, and she did it well, because as a matter of fact, when we look at that chapter, we call it the Proverbs 31 woman. So we gave her that whole chapter
We did.
because of how she showed up. So what I want to do is continue to empower women through knowing that there is absolutely that nothing that we can't do. We can have it all, y'all. We don't have to be limited by anything. Our only limitations is the limitations we put on ourselves, and we have an amazing woman that sits in scripture
Hmm.
that is the blueprint for us becoming sophisticated hustlers. Now, let me tell you, hustler always seem to show up with a negative connotation, right? But hustler isn't a bad word. This woman did it all. Hustler is a person that is doing multiple things at multiple time, different times, and that's what she was. And she did it with grace. She did it with class. And so I'm talking to the sophisticated hustlers, the women that have passion and dreams and desires, still raising families, still doing things, but trying to balance it all. And that's what I want to be a part of, seeing women understanding their power, their place. I have this campaign that me and Dr. Sprinkles is getting ready to start working on called We Got Next Now, which means that we don't have it later. We have it now. And what I want to do is help women be ready, not get ready, but be ready when it's time to walk through those doors that are getting ready to be open for us. So I'm excited about this platform, and I look forward to just building and building on this sophisticated hustler platform.
Hey,
Hey,
when I think about a hustler, I think about somebody that's getting it done. They're just getting it done. They're out there and they're making the waves and they're getting it done. So
people used to call
I'm
me a
excited.
hustler, and I used to kind of like, I didn't know how to take it. But now I'm like, once I read the word, I'm like, all right, okay, I am that. But then I added the word sophisticated to it. So I think all of us on this panel in our own right are sophisticated hustlers.
I
You know,
agree.
we are
I
doing
agree.
multiple things, and so we are examples of what we're trying to show forth to other women.
Awesome. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. All right, Miss Crystal Travis, label breaker. So tell us why we are not contained by our labels.
Well, Dr. Stephanie did a great lead into that, because that is one thing we do in the label breaker community, is that we are not constrained by the labels that others put on us, that we have put on us. And we can take labels that may look negative or have that negative connotation, like a lot of us think hustler in the past would be a negative connotation. But Dr. Steph and I reverse that, and that's what we can do. That's what we do in label breaker, is we can sit with that. We can go through them and remove the ones that were never meant to define us and break off all the negativity that is there. And then we can sit with our creator, who is the only one who is meant to define us, and sit with him and learn who he is.
Yeah.
So in learning who he is, we get to know who we are. And then we take his labels that he says about him, that he says about us, and we can apply those and walk in those and learn to walk in the true freedom that comes in knowing who we truly are, and then in walking with him and the purposes that He has for us to do. And guys, those purposes are actually very simple purposes that He has for us to do. It is just to love Him and love others and just be. But in doing that, we also get to walk out our dreams with Him and our vision with Him, which become our purposes too. And so in being a label breaker and not letting any labels continue, you get to break off a lot of labels. And I've broken off a lot, guys. I was 150 plus pounds heavier. I had life-threatening illnesses. My children had learning disabilities. I struggled with depression, shame, guilt, poverty, all the things. But those things, guys, no longer define me. Now I know I'm a daughter of the King. I'm His friend. I'm His bride. I'm His priest and His king to walk out and to lead nations and others. And that means you guys, you are the nation and the leaders. And so it is an honor to be on this panel with these amazing women as we sat at the top of a mountain and dreamed with Him and learned with Him and let Him break labels off of us and put His labels on us, so that now we're getting to do this amazing TV show with you guys and to share His love and His purpose through each one of us for you guys. So I'm just excited to share all the things with you guys and break off the labels with these amazing girls and with you. So
Awesome. That is so powerful, because so often, especially we as women, we take on all the different labels that society has put on us. And like I said at the beginning of the show, one of the things that we are here to do is to help you find your voice, to help you find your place of leadership once again. So there's a whole lot of labels that we're going to be breaking. And yes, it's for that. All right. Now, I am a person who absolutely loves the water. Like, water is my love language. There's no doubt about it. It is where I find my peace. It is where I get revitalized. It is that place. But Miss Taffany said she was dealing with ships. I was like, oh, can we go to the ocean? Are we getting on a cruise? What are we doing? But then she broke it down about all the different ships that she was going to deal with. So talk to us about being that ship shifter, ma'am.
Well, hello, guys. So super excited to be a part of this amazing opportunity. I am right now on Nana duty. So if you hear a little one in the back, just know. Here we are. She's 8 months old and she has no concept of being on a TV show and being quiet. Okay. Ship shifters. It's a beautiful thing when we think about the rudder being the smallest part of the ship, but one little adjustment can take it into an entire different direction. So when we talk about ship shifters, we are given the opportunity to set the trajectory of every ship, leadership, relationships, whether they be romantic, business, or even within our families, stewardship, discipleship, partnerships, you name the ship, we can shift them because we're shifting them based on what we are bringing to the table. We start every shift of a ship in the mirror. What are we bringing? After all, we're the common denominator in every ship, right? Mm-hmm. So when we're dealing with this shift, I have an acronym that I like to use, and the acronym is SHIFT. So the first one being the S, self-awareness, understanding that we're leading from the inside out. As Dr. Stephanie has said, it's what we do. It's not what we do, it's who we are, right? Mm-hmm. So if we're leading from the inside out, we have to check ourselves before we first wreck ourselves and wreck everything that is around us. So we will start with the S in shift, and that being self-awareness. The second part is honor. Elevating others in order to elevate ourselves. If we help enough people get what they want, we automatically get what we want, even if we're not trying. How are you honoring the people in that ship, in that relationship? Are you lifting them up? Are you seeing the good and not the bad? Are you elevating the good and not concentrating on the negative? Are you letting them know that they are a part of something, that they're appreciated, that they're needed? Because everyone has that internal desire to be accepted, to be secure, and to be significant. Every one of us. And if we are doing our parts as the shifter of the ship to make sure that everyone in that ship is feeling that, then we can automatically honor them and be honored ourselves. The next one is influence. We are leading with impact, not authority. The impact that I bring is what causes others to want to follow. If we are good at articulating the vision and what it is that we desire from whatever ship it is, and then we are in integrity to do that thing even when nobody's looking, we are able to lead by impact and not by the authority. Authority gives us the right. Power gives us the ability to do something. Authority gives us the right to do it. But when we lead through impact and integrity, it automatically happens whether we desire it, whether we want it to or not. The next one is the F, focus. Aligning our vision with our actions. We can say we desire to lose 100 pounds, but if we go eat cake and ice cream at every meal, the desire to lose it is not aligning with the vision. So understanding the vision, being able to articulate it effectively, us doing it ourselves makes others want to follow. The word says, follow me as I follow Christ. And so when we get into that space of aligning our vision with the action, it's an automatic shift of every ship. Now to the T, transformation. Growth through continuous improvement. Being a lifelong learner, no matter what part or title I have in that ship. I can be wife, I can be leader, I can be CEO, I can be whatever. It doesn't matter. Continuing to grow in everything that we do, being a lifelong learner, and allowing your team or whomever else is in the ship to see you learning, to see you growing, and their desire will be the same thing. So in conclusion, this journey to this shift begins with you. And that's what I want to bring to the table to all of us as women in this space of entrepreneurship and leadership, no matter what that position is.
Awesome. Well, I still want to get on that ship, It may not be floating down in the ocean, but that's a good ship to be on. You said something, and it really ties back into what Dr. Stephania was saying about the Proverbs 31 woman, is that, we as women, we've been told that you can't have it all. And sometimes in our mindset, we're like, I can't do it all. There's balance to everything. And we have to learn the balance. And one of the things that I'm really, really careful about is putting the disclaimer out there that as we become the better and the best rendition of who we are, we enhance our kings. We need to understand that in all we're doing, we're not in competition with our kings. We're there to enhance our kings. So don't think that you have to dumb down your voice. You have to shrink back and be less than who God created you to be just to be in the ship. Okay, that is not true. You need to find somebody that's going to celebrate you and recognize the greatness that you bring to the table. Mic drop. But we're not in competition. We are there to enhance. All right. So you do not have to shrink back. So all these various different ships that she is going to be talking about is going to be a very, very powerful thing. Well, okay, I guess that leaves me. And my thing is all about women empowerment. knowing who you are. I think it comes from that place of identity. It really, really does. When you know who you are, you walk a certain way. You carry yourself away and a certain way, and you value yourself. All right. You will not allow anyone else to devalue you because you know who you are. All right. And so that's where I come in. I come in from that standpoint of know your identity, know your worth, know your value. Because a lot of times we are devaluing ourselves, and that is giving permission to other people to do the same. So I want to make sure that you know who you are. I want to make sure that you become comfortable in your own skin. I want to make sure that you recognize and understand that you were uniquely created to be you. Uniquely created to be you. And guess what? Being you is your superpower. It is what sets you apart. It is your superpower, all right? Because nobody can do you like you can do you. I take it as a full-time job being me, okay? And can nobody else do it? Nobody can replace me at being me. It's just about me doing me and being. We have to get to that place of knowing that we are a being before we are a doer. And that's why I think that the Proverbs 31 woman was be able to do everything that she was able to do because she was a being first. She be who she be. Okay. And because she be who she be, she could do what she did. And we are the same. We are the same. If we be who we be who we were created to be, then trust me, we will be able to do what we were created to do. So I'm very, very excited about all of us having the opportunity to pour into your lives. And from the standpoint of knowing where we've come from. You know, I say this all the time, and it's the honest to God truth. When I was younger, still in my mother's house, my mother and I had a kind of rocky relationship from time to time. But I remember her trying to tell me one day that she wanted me to learn from her mistakes so that I didn't repeat them. And the dumbest thing I think I ever said in life was, well, you made your mistakes. You got to let me make mine. That was really, really dumb. Okay. So ladies, I want you to understand that all of these ladies on here have walked the journey, and they're still in the midst of the journey. And what they want to do is help you not have to walk the same walk and hit your head against the same brick wall. Okay, be smarter than I was. And I understand that when they're bringing their experience to the table, it is to help you be the best you can be. And especially from an entrepreneurship standpoint, because you may just be starting off in business, or you may be at that place where you want to scale your business. You've got all of that here sitting at the table with you. So make sure that your ears are attuned and your heart is open to receive and your mind is ready to grasp what it is that is going to be presented to you. Because I promise you, it can literally be life changing. So I'm going to bring each lady up one more time. And if I do this correctly, I'm going to spotlight them on the stage so that when I do this, they can tell you about their company and why they're excited about pouring into you from an empowerment standpoint. So let me see if I can do this properly. Okay, so that's me. So I want now to put, there we go. Hey, to put Patsy in the spotlight. And I want you to know that down on the corner of your screen, you will see a QR code. And that QR code is where you can contact her or get whatever it is that she has available for you. So with each lady that comes up, you will be able to scan their QR code. So Miss Patsy, why are you excited about empowering the ladies?
Well, one of the things, Dr. James, that whenever I first started this leadership thing, I was just being obedient. Whenever I first started, God started talking to me about empowering leaders and empowering other women, and working that out. I was just being obedient, but I didn't realize my receipts. One of the young ladies at the meeting, she was like, "This generation, you got to have receipts." And I was like, "Well, Lord, I'm just being obedient, but I don't know what my receipts are." And the Lord just literally starts putting these things in front of me. He's just reminding me, when you were 16, you did this. And whenever you were 20, I put you in charge of this. And whenever you were this, at this age, you were on this team. And on, and just, and what I want to do is I want to help women see their value, because a lot of times whenever we're walking and we're just going along, what comes easy to us, we don't value, right? What comes easy to us must come easy to everyone else. And I was put in these positions of leadership, and like you were saying a while ago, I was just being. And it wasn't until the Lord showed me that the being brought about the doing. And I'm really excited about helping women discover that they're in their being, that they are enough, and that their value is found inside of them, and to help them find the value in other people as well. So
I love it. I love it. I love it. So this is what you have to look forward to, ladies. You don't want to miss the segments with Patsy, definitely. Dr. Sprinkles.
Well, it would not go without saying it is the month of October, which is Observation of Breast Cancer Awareness. I am a soon-to-be 17-year breast cancer conqueror, and every day I get to live my sprinkle. And every single one of us has a sprinkle. Your sprinkle is your purpose. Your sprinkle is your purpose. So how are you sprinkling? Are you reminding yourself of what God says about you? If your way of being is not lining up with what the word says, that you are fearfully and wonderfully made, that you are the head and not the tail, that you are above and not beneath, that you are healed. All of those things, we get to stand in agreement with God.
yes.
Hear that. We get to stand in agreement with God. So right now, when your mindset is pushing against and you're in a place of perhaps sadness or depression or not knowing your direction or your purpose, get in agreement with God. And that's what I do. That's my way of being. Everyday living with Dr. Sprinkles. Every single day that God has blessed us to be on this earth is a day filled with purpose. And when your day is filled with purpose, it is filled with faith. It is filled with kingdom confidence, not the confidence that the world has given you. Because the confidence that the world has given you, if you subscribe to it, you then get hooked up into influencers and hashtags and numbers. But my invitation to you is to get hooked up to Calvary. Get hooked up to Calvary and never forget what God says about you. Always remember that you are made in his image and in his likeness. And therefore, if you look like him, you are him. And the things that you yourself, you would not take to him if you were in his presence in physical form. So stop saying it to you. And during this time of Everyday Living with Sprinkles, we are going to reframe the brain. We are going to stand in our kingdom confidence. We are going to hold our crowns high, because you get to be the better version of the best you and the best version of the better you. And that is what God has called you to be. That will become your belief. We are pulling up seeds we no longer need. What does God say about you? You look like him. Kingdom confidence, and it's going to become your belief. Everyday Living with Sprinkles. Tune in.
Awesome. Awesome. All right, Dr. Steph, where'd she go? Oh, hold on. There you are. All right.
You know what is so awesome? Like none of us got together before this, except for when we were in the mountains. So none of this opportunity came to all of us at the same time. But all of our topics interlock. They really feed off each other. Like it's unbelievable. Like someone would have thought that we actually set and planned this, and we didn't. That just lets you know that God is all up in this. But so ironically with this, I have been all about women empowerment, and I call it upbuilding women. And I just started a nonprofit called We Shine. I shine, you shine, we shine. And it's really about empowering women and their daughters through entrepreneurship. And three of the things um, that we're really trying to focus on is entrepreneurship, access and opportunity, and emotional wellness. And emotional wellness is like my baby because in all of what we deal with and what we go through, and from whatever it is, most women are having a horrible time managing their emotions
Mm,
through all of the different phases of life, whether it's spiritual, financial, mental. On the ship, that's one of our biggest things on that ship. If we can keep our emotional wellness in check, if we can get up our emotional intelligence, I think that we will be so much greater and better as women. Understanding emotions and where exactly they go, because being sophisticated hustlers require a very high emotional IQ, because you have to make decisions and do things that you have to seek God on, you have to seek information on, you can't consult your emotions on. And so knowing where our emotions play a part, because our emotions do play a part in who we are, but understanding that so that we can be the best that we can be and are
mhm,
becoming, because we're constantly becoming. But as we're pursuing all of the different verticals in our life, trying to check the boxes in our life, we have to make sure that we are healthy in our emotions, mentally, spiritually, on our journey to becoming financially well. So I think that uh, just connecting, understanding who we are and whose we are, will really help kind of settle some things in us. And I love the fact that all of the women really donate to this thought.
mhm,
Everybody brings a different thought. I mean, like the label breaker. I mean, that's one of the biggest issues of our emotional um, issues, is because we've bought into all these different um, labels and things of what people said about us and even what we've said about ourselves. So to even go through that and to tie that in, so I think that everybody will benefit greatly from joining in, to all of us, because I think that we all is like part one, part two, part three, and I think that the whole picture is going to be like really amazing after all of us get in there and do our part. And so I'm excited to be upbuilding women, younger women especially. So I say women and their daughters,
mm,
because we're, even if you don't have biological children, at a certain point in life, there's women that you mentor, women that look up to you, women that relying on you and in your lead. And so we want to be a resource where you can come every time we're here to be able to take applicable things that you can apply to your life, whether it's your business, whether it's your ministry, your relationships, whatever it is. We want to make sure that we give you something every week that can really enhance and change your life. And so I'm just excited to just be a part of this tree, just to be a part of it, and to be able to deposit some things that'll help you be greater, be better, and to help you shine, because we are all called to do that. So I'm excited.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, Miss Label Breaker, that was a great segue into you.
She does great. Stephanie, I love that. So, as you know, we all have shared, and Patsy has shared too, like what are your receipts? I know that's a big thing. Um, so in the past, I have let labels and fear define me for most of my life, especially starting probably around 9 or 10 years old up until we'll say 8 years ago when I wrote Label Breaker. Um, and in that, that was my receipts where he was showing me. Like I had mentioned earlier, you know, I was 150 pounds overweight, and that was due from stress and anxiety and things that I was trying to take under my control in my life. And um, obviously I was not in good control. So learning to trust the one and release, to let go of the control, to know whose I truly was, and um, what he walked with me and in my family and with my children. I have 4 children, been married 30 plus years, have 2 wonderful grandchildren, and homeschooled them. And so we have the homeschool journey. We have been real estate investors. So we know the flips and the rentals and all of the things that we poured into that. We took our children with us on every journey, doing the houses and doing the conferences and meeting the people, and then doing an online business and doing that. So we are no strangers to entrepreneurship. We have decades of learning different avenues with that. As any of you who may know entrepreneurship, you kind of get sucked in by that shiny object thing. But we have had success in multiple things, so we can share those um, insights with you in the future, as in coming into breaking some of the labels and choosing labels that you want to identify with. If you want to do real estate, if you want to have a good, healthy family, if you want to homeschool your kids, if you want to make your kids into leaders that will shine, like Dr. Stephanie is saying, with your children. We have done that, and all 4 of our children are shining in their various occupations. So, in being that not real estate, and being the label breaker that realizes that there is nothing impossible with God. So, in being part of that community, we will help lead you into the Ephesians 3:17 through 20 life, where it says, Christ will make his home in your hearts as you trust in him. Your roots will go down into God's love and keep you strong. And may you have the power to understand, as all God's people should, and we're all God's people, how wide, how long, how high, and how deep his love is. May you experience the love of Christ, though it is too great to fully understand. Then you will be made complete with all the fullness of life and power that comes from God. Now, all glory to God, who is able through his mighty power at work within us to accomplish infinitely more than we might ask or think. And that's what we'll do in the Label Breaker community with you guys.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. That's amazing. All right, Queen, talk to us.
Hello, hello, hello. I love everything that's been said. When I think about receipts, I think about several of my spiritual daughters who have gone on to start their own businesses, who are raising up business owners as well. Some have started ministries, some have started other different things, but it's so interesting just listening to everyone and seeing, as Dr. Stephanie has said, how God knitted this thing together. It's the Holy Spirit. It's a Holy Spirit hijack. That's what I call it. You know, it's a beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful thing. Here with the gift, right? So I have always been in a space of being immediately obedient. So when he tells me to purge, which means to get rid of everything that's not needed for my next yes, to pivot, meaning to add on the things that are needed for the next season, and to shift, meaning to change how I speak about it and how I think about it. I think about this shifter, right? And one of the first things that I want you to do is to change how you speak about things, change how you think about things. Because as we're saying about this younger generation being whatever, we're speaking word curses over their lives. So we have to be intentional about how we speak to ourselves, what we say to other people about situations. And I want you to be encouraged that as you speak, things will shift. And so I want to go back to this queen thing. So the Lord said to start the Kingdom Women Empower Network. It's a digital marketing space where we learn to use what we have in front of us to market ourselves so that more people from the ends of the earth will be able to hear what it is that we are to do. Kingdom principles work whether we're kingdom minded or not. Principles are principles, they work. And so I am reminded of something that we saw in Ephesians 11 and 2 about investing in 7 things, maybe even 8. If you look at it in the NIV, it uses the word invest in 7, maybe 8, because we don't know what's coming. So this 7 streams of income is not just a worldly thing. It's a kingdom principle. So as we go forward with Unstoppable Lionesses, and you get the opportunity to learn from each one of our journeys, be intentional about not letting it just sit in your head as knowledge, but let the knowledge, the information, bring about a revelation, an aha. From there, the application, do it, because you are it, then the transformation comes. And we get a chance to transform how this next generation, as well as our own, because I'm a Gen X. I drank the Kool-Aid. I thought that we were gonna go get a job for 8, you know, that pun intended, that we were gonna go get a job and work for 30 years and retire, and our Social Security and all retirement was gonna take care of us. Hello, newsflash. Don't drink the Kool-Aid. It's not true. We as kingdom women in entrepreneurial spaces get the opportunity to invest in 7, maybe even 8 streams of income so that we can move forward and shift every shift that we get the opportunity to be a part of. That's all I got.
That's enough. That is awesome. Thank you so much. Just please don't drink the Kool-Aid. Just don't drink the Kool-Aid. Anyway. Well, that brings us to the close of our show. We're a little over time, but it is the first one. And, you know, hopefully we'll get a little grace on this. But you know what? As you can see, the ladies that will be sewing into your lives are very, very passionate about what it is that they want to share with you. So keep your minds and your hearts open. And like I said, for their segments, you are going to be empowered. And here's our motto here at Unstoppable Lionesses. An empowered woman empowers the world. I know you heard that the hand that rocks the cradle rules the world, but we can empower the world as long as we're empowered ourselves. So come on back, join us for the broadcast. We're going to be on here every single week to pour into your lives, and know that we care about you and your voice in your power. So we love you. Thank you for being a part of this. And hey, we'll see you next week.